It wasn't the money. It wasn't even the cheating. According to MacKenzie Scott, leaving Jeff Bezos was about saving herself, and maybe, just maybe, warning the next woman in line. In a private message that's now making quiet waves in elite circles, MacKenzie allegedly wrote, "He'll never change. I learned that too late. Lauren still has time." She didn't just walk away from the world's richest man, she walked away with a chilling realization. And what she revealed about Jeff Bezos? No one, not even Lauren Sanchez, saw it coming. When Jeff Bezos and MacKenzie Scott announced their divorce in 2019, the media painted a picture of mature separation, mutual respect, and no hard feelings. A $38 billion settlement and a polished Twitter statement later, the world moved on, thinking the former couple had ended things like adults. But behind closed doors, the truth was far messier. MacKenzie didn't just walk away with billions. She walked away with emotional bruises, unanswered questions, and a deep sense of betrayal. While the public was distracted by how civil it all seemed, MacKenzie was telling close friends a different story entirely. One friend recalls her saying, "He didn't lose a wife, he lost a mirror. I was the last person who still told him the truth." The marriage may have ended on paper, but for MacKenzie, the damage had started long before the world knew. And the more she tried to warn others, the more she realized Jeff's public charm was just a distraction from a much darker, private reality. For years, MacKenzie played the role of the supportive wife, quiet, composed, always in the background. But what few knew was how isolating life with Jeff Bezos had become. To the world, he was a visionary, a genius, but to her, he was someone who had slowly become unreachable. In private, MacKenzie allegedly confided, "I wasn't his partner, I was his placeholder until the next launch." According to those close to her, she described Jeff as emotionally distant, always in pursuit of the next big win, the next acquisition, the next frontier. Power wasn't just a goal for him, it was an obsession. Their conversations, once intimate and full of dreams, turned into business updates, cold, calculated, and filtered. Over time, she felt more like a resource than a wife. One close friend put it bluntly, she didn't leave because he cheated. She left because he forgot she was human. And as MacKenzie began to see the man behind the empire, a chilling pattern started to emerge. Then came Lauren Sanchez, media personality, former TV anchor, helicopter pilot. Fierce, flashy, and fearless, Lauren was everything MacKenzie was not, at least on the surface. When she entered Jeff's world, the transformation was instant. He ditched the bland button-downs for leather jackets, got visibly fitter, and started showing up at Hollywood parties like he was auditioning for a Bond movie. The tabloids called it love, a fresh start, a powerful new couple. But MacKenzie saw it differently. To those closest to her, she didn't hold back. "It's the same script," she allegedly said. "Only the actress changed." Behind the billionaire glow-up and glossy photo ops, MacKenzie believed Lauren was walking straight into the same machine, one that would consume her, control her, and eventually discard her. And if the whispers are true, it didn't take long for Lauren to start noticing the cracks. Then came the leak that sent the internet spiraling. A private message, allegedly from MacKenzie Scott to Lauren Sanchez, surfaced online. No one knows who leaked it, but once it hit Reddit, it spread like wildfire. Screenshots flew across TikTok, clubhouse rooms lit up overnight. Suddenly, everyone had an opinion and a theory. The message itself? Simple, but chilling. "You think you're in love? I thought so too." Those 8 words sparked a frenzy. Was MacKenzie trying to warn Lauren? Was this the first crack in Jeff and Lauren's fairy tale narrative? While some dismissed it as fake, others pointed to MacKenzie's pattern. She rarely speaks publicly, so when she does, directly or indirectly, it means something. People began digging deeper. What else had MacKenzie tried to say that the world hadn't noticed? And more importantly, was Lauren finally starting to listen? Because what came next would raise even more eyebrows and more questions. Just days after the leaked message exploded online, Jeff Bezos made a public appearance at a Blue Origin event. But this time, something was off. He was polished as always, grinning for the cameras, delivering grand promises about space and the future. But insiders who were there noticed a different energy. One staffer said bluntly, he looked shaken, like a man trying not to flinch. And behind the scenes, the pressure was boiling. Private sources say Jeff was furious, not about the message itself, but about the loss of control. For a man who built Amazon by mastering every detail, this kind of public vulnerability was his worst nightmare. An insider revealed he never liked losing control of the narrative, ever. Allegedly, his team scrambled to find the source of the leak, contacting platforms, even threatening legal action, but it was too late. The story had legs. It wasn't just about the message anymore, it was about Jeff's image cracking in real time. And the more he tried to bury it, the louder the whispers became. While Jeff worked overtime to shut the story down, Lauren Sanchez went quiet. No cryptic Instagram posts, no red carpet appearances, just silence. But according to someone close to her, that silence was anything but calm. A friend reportedly said Lauren had confided something unsettling. "He's not who I thought." It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't angry. It was tired, resigned. Sources say she began noticing patterns. Little things at first, the controlling comments, the calculated timing of public photos, the way Jeff seemed more invested in optics than in her. And those weren't just feelings. They matched exactly what MacKenzie once described. That same cold ambition, that emotional distance dressed up as intellect, that subtle shift from romance to transaction. Even Lauren's public body language began to change. At events, she stopped looking toward Jeff the way she used to. She smiled less. Cameras caught her fidgeting when he spoke. To some, it looked like growing pains in a high-profile relationship. To others, it looked like a woman realizing she might be the next chapter in a very familiar story. And then, just when the internet thought the drama might die down, something even stranger happened. It didn't take long for the internet to start connecting the dots. Timeline breakdowns popped up on Reddit threads, TikTok deep dives went viral, and YouTubers began dissecting every photo, every statement, every subtle shift in Jeff and Lauren's relationship. Side-by-side comparisons started circulating. Lauren now versus MacKenzie then. Same look of unease, same distant glances during interviews. Clips from Jeff's old speeches were mashed up with recent footage, painting a pattern many found hard to ignore. Even gossip channels that usually avoided Bezos jumped in. Some claimed that former Amazon executives anonymously shared eerie descriptions of Jeff's personal demeanor behind closed doors, descriptions that aligned too perfectly with MacKenzie's past words. One host put it bluntly, "It's like he's following the same script and just recasting the lead." Suddenly, public opinion started to shift. What once looked like a picture-perfect billionaire romance now felt rehearsed. And for the first time since their divorce, people began asking out loud, was MacKenzie right all along? But if the world thought it had heard the last twist, they were wrong. Because MacKenzie had one more message. And this one wasn't leaked, it was intentional. Side-by-side comparisons started circulating. Lauren now versus MacKenzie then. Same look of unease. Same distant glances during interviews. Clips from Jeff's old speeches were mashed up with recent footage, painting a pattern many found hard to ignore. Even gossip channels that usually avoided Bezos jumped in. Some claimed that former Amazon executives anonymously shared eerie descriptions of Jeff's personal demeanor behind closed doors, descriptions that aligned too perfectly with MacKenzie's past words. One host put it bluntly, "It's like he's following the same script and just recasting the lead." Suddenly, public opinion started to shift. What once looked like a picture-perfect billionaire romance now felt rehearsed. And for the first time since their divorce, people began asking out loud, was MacKenzie right all along? But if the world thought it had heard the last twist, they were wrong. Because MacKenzie had one more message, and this one wasn't leaked. It was intentional. There's something chilling about watching history repeat itself, especially when it plays out on billion-dollar stages. MacKenzie Scott didn't just walk away from the world's richest man with $38 billion. She walked away with clarity. She wasn't bitter, she was bold. And whether people listened then or not, she made sure they'd hear her now. Because in her eyes, Jeff Bezos didn't lose a marriage. He lost the one person willing to hold up a mirror. And now Lauren Sanchez might be seeing the same reflection, one MacKenzie had already warned about. The pattern is familiar. The warning signs, undeniable. But here's the thing about powerful men. When they go unchallenged, they rarely change. They just repeat. Different face, same story. And if Lauren doesn't break the cycle, someone else will just take her place. But this time, the world is watching.